We're actually looking here at a chart that's been generated by the Ultimate Forex Predictor software. Now, UFXP, as it's known, was launched back in 2008 by a chap called Keith Cottrell. And since 2008, Keith has taught literally thousands of people how to trade the markets and has used the UFXP software as a primary tool for doing that. So there's been a lot written about UFXP and certainly quite a lot of hype about it. So I thought it was probably about time that we had a look at it for ourselves. So what UFXP is basically a piece of software and a data feed. And when you put the software onto your own computer and set up the data feed, what actually happens is you get these blue and red dots that appear all over your charts. And these are what Keith likes to call PTPs, or potential trading points. If you see a red dot, such as this one up here, that's a red dot but the centre is clear, and that's telling you that there's a potential short trade coming into the market. If you see a green dot, that's green on the outside but clear in the middle, and that's telling you there's a potential long trade coming into the market. And finally, if you see these blue trades, well, these blue dots are just telling you that there was a potential trade set up, but it's not a time of day that Keith would normally advise trading. Keith's pretty classic. He looks at the two trading windows, first being 6 to 11 and then the next being 1 till 4. And they're pretty much the professional trader sort of times for trading Forex. What we're looking at here, by the way, is a 5-minute chart of cables. That's the pound against the dollar. So what happens when you've got the software set up and one of these alerts is signalled? Well, the good thing about the alerts is there's also an audio signal. So as long as you've got your computer on and you have speakers, obviously, with your computer set up, you don't actually have to be sitting in front of your computer to take advantage of these trades, because there'll be an audio beep that will let you know when there is a potential trade. And as I said, these circles that aren't filled in, they're just telling you there's a potential trade. Now, the potential trade setups last for 3 candles, so that's a maximum of 15 minutes. Looking at a 5-minute chart, so you know that for the next 15 minutes you need to be watching, or maximum of 15 minutes, you need to be watching your computer for hopefully potentially getting into a trade. Okay, so it's all very good having a red dot on your chart, but what does that actually do for you in terms of getting into a trade? Well, it's quite simple, really. By clicking one button and then clicking again above the PTP, you actually get the software to generate for you your entry point, your initial stop loss, and also a potential profit target. Once you've done that, then again, by right-clicking, you can request the software shows you your risk management. And I think this is a really good little tool, because although it's not very interesting, risk management is such an important part of trading, and so many times people get it wrong. So now here we know that if our pod is 5,000 and my maximum risk per trade is going to be 2%, I know that £4 a point is the proposed stake, is the right stake. And if I change that to 10, then we get a warning here, and the ticket goes red because I'm risking 5% my trade. So put it there at 4, and I know I'm risking exactly 2%. So now that I'm armed with my £4 a pip stake, I know my profit target, I know my stop loss, I know my entry price. All I need to do is go to my spread betting account and set the order to open. As I say, you can either hover over your computer waiting for the trade to open, or you can set it as an order to open. But just remembering that, if the PTP hasn't gone solid red, which is, they go solid red when the signal is confirmed, so i.e. that the price has moved down to the entry price within 3 candles. So as this trade here, as you can see, the PTP was red, the candle was red, the entry price was just here, but 1, 2, 3 candles later we still hadn't broken the price, so the signal was no longer valid. So you have to wait for the next trade. And the next trade came, what was it, 5-10 minutes later. So once again, you just need to click above that entry price. Here we have our risk of 19 points, our entry price here at 15826, and our scalping profit target of 15806. And as you can see, the signal was red, the candle was red, the moving average, it's a 20-bar moving average there, that was red. The price is closed below the moving average, which is a very good signal. So this is a good trade setup that you just go to your spread betting firm and place. One of the good things about the software is you can add layers of complexity. Keith would advise people to also look at what's called a parabolic SAR, and I'm not going to go into too much detail about what these are at the moment, but basically it's another technical indicator that uses time versus price to calculate if the market is showing that it's going to go short or going to go long. So if you've got these red dots here, basically the price action is on the downside, and if you've got the green dots, then the price action is looking to go on the long side. So once again here, you've got an SAR that's red, indicating the price is going to go down. the signal is red, telling you the potential short trade. The candle is red. The moving average is red, and the candle is closed below the moving average. So that is a pretty strong signal for a trade setup. Now, not wanting to get it overly complicated, there are also additional things that I think are fantastically good that you can add into your trades. I've talked about pivot points. In fact, I've even given away a free pivot point calculator before to my readers. No need for that on this software, because by pressing one button, the pivot points are automatically calculated. And I think for a lot of people, when you see how often the price interacts with the pivot points, I think you'll be amazed. Often when you're looking at a chart and they're not there, you kind of not really sure why the price is moving the way it is. But as soon as you put the pivot points onto a chart, you can see that the price came up somewhere near the pivot points here and then has moved away, and you can see where the price has been interacting with them. Again there, again there, up to the point here, then going sideways through this one here, has come up to the S1 there. It's just an amazing thing to be able to have a bit more knowledge and information on your machine. It doesn't have to be there. If it looks like it is overly confusing, then you can remove them, but it's just all these sort of additional technical analysis tools are there for you to use. It may be, we talk here about the profit target. I've gone for the simple scalping profit target of 20 pips. This is a classic scalping approach. However, you can look to stay into these trades for longer, and if you are going to look to stay in the trades for longer, then things like pivot points may be a big part of how you calculate where to put your profit targets. Okay, so I'm probably rattling on a bit there, but you can see how this is a successful trade and how quick and simple it's going to be to place trades. So what I'm going to do now is run back through the 2 days worth of data that I've got here. I'm showing you all the potential trades, the setups that there have been. So obviously it's not a complete review of the trading strategy, but what I can tell you, what the software does and the amount of support that you get with the software in terms of training videos and the additional bits of technical analysis that you can use. It's a pretty complete package, and along with some pretty strong trading signals. So I'll pause the video now. We can take a quick look at some of those. So I can go back as far as Friday, which was May the 18th, and that's as far as the data goes back, and run through the trades that have been set up between now, from then until now, which is still Tuesday at 22nd of May. So the first signal is just here, but this is outside of a trading window, so I've not marked it up. You can see it would have been a winning trade. So the first trade that we've actually got that could have been taken was at just after 3 o'clock on Friday, and as you can see, that's it was a quick 20-point scalper. So applying my logic of risking no more than 2% per trade, then that would have been 20 points and a £80 profit bagged. And then moving on to our next trade, we've got a signal here, which is at 6:05 or yesterday morning, Monday morning. Again, a 20 pip scalping approach would have bagged another 20 points. So it'd be another winner with another £80. Third trade is just here, which was signalled at 9:45 yesterday morning. Once again, it's 20-point profit, so it'll be another £80 and 60 pips to date. I haven't marked this trade up because it was outside of the trading window period, but once again I think you can see that would have been a winning trade. Okay, our next trade is here. This is our one and only losing trade over the 2 and a bit days, or 2 days so far. This was a short sell at 2:20 yesterday. Just got triggered in before the price just reversed basically and went straight through to the stop. So the next trade, I've marked this one up, but I haven't actually recorded it as a winning trade because the entry price is exactly at the stop from the previous. So theoretically you could have got into this trade, but and it would have been a winning trade, which is why I've marked it up. But I haven't counted it in my sort of overall profits because you'd have to be quite quick to get into that one. Okay, so moving on along to today then. So we've got a trade here at 6:30 this morning, which would have made the 20-point scalp. There is also a trade set up here that was filled, but you can see the parabolic SAR is actually green, and at the time that trade was open, this 20-day moving average would have been green also. It did go on to be red, but it wouldn't have quite filled the trade criteria. The next one did though. We've got a red parabolic SAR, we've got a red trading signal, got a red candle and a red moving average. Entry price down here, so giving us yet another 20-point scalp. So that's 5 winning trades and just 1 losing trade so far this week, with 1 final trade that we're currently looking at the moment, which is a break even as we speak right at this moment. So a quick add up of those figures, it's actually an 82 pip gain over the last couple of days, and that would, applying the money management strategy, that would have been a £350 gain, which isn't to be sniffed at. But the thing I really like about the software, it's not so much the trading signals, obviously they're a given, you need decent trading signals from a trading strategy, but it's actually the support that you get along with the software. There's actually over 5 hours worth of videos that accompany this piece of software to help you with your trading. There's also a support team that is run by traders to help you, and they'll understand the questions and queries you've got. And they also post 3 times a week a report of the trades over the last day or so, so that you can see how they played out and how they applied their trading to them. So overall it's a complete package, a complete professional package, and it's one that I'm very happy to recommend. Okay, so it's now 3:25, and the final trade that we had showing on the software has actually closed at a profit. So I thought I'd do a quick bit more video so as to make this review complete. So over the course of the 2 days, we've had 7 trades set up on the UFXP software, 6 of which have been winners, bagging 102 pips, and only 1 of which has been a loss. And the overall profit in pounds and pence, applying the risking 2% of your pot per trade logic, is actually a £430 profit. So over the course of these 2 days, this has been a very successful system.